Do not attempt to install the pool wall on a windy day, and if possible, get several neighbors or friends to help. Start by spreading the liner out in the sun in a secure place. This will help you remove the wrinkles later, but be careful not to leave it in the sun too long to avoid scorching the grass underneath. Put 2 pieces of plywood or heavy cardboard in the end of the pool where the filter and pump are to be located. Place the rolled up pool wall on the cardboard. Look for the "This Way Up" label and arrow. Cut the packing strap, being careful not to scratch the pool wall, and begin uncoiling the roll. This will loosen the coil and make it easier to unwind. To help the wall fit more easily into the base rails at the buttress verticals, use a screwdriver to bend the outer edges open slightly. Begin on one of the round ends, rather than the horizontal sides, selecting the end where you want the pool filter and pump located. The end of the wall must be centered over a base plate in order to conceal the joint behind one of the verticals. It's a good idea to have one person hold the end of the wall in position while the rest of the wall is installed, but you can use a ladder and a length of duct tape to hold this section upright while you install the remainder of the wall. The top of the wall should be covered by slotted tubes as you proceed. These are color-coded or identified by part number specifically for your pool size. Use transition tubes over the transition base rails and end tubes over the end rails. These tubes are color-coded or identified by part number. Slotted transition and end tubes are left about 1/2 inch 13 millimeters apart and are joined using a 6 inch 15 centimeter metal slotted tube connector centered over the base plate. Slide the connector over one tube and slide the other tube into the connector. Continue to work around the pool, uncoiling the pool wall and relocating the pieces of plywood or cardboard as necessary. Keep slipping the wall into the base rail and adding slotted tubes as you go. On the horizontal sides, the transition tube and buttress tubes should be left about 4 inches 10 centimeters apart, and they are joined by a plastic tube connector that goes inside rather than outside the 2 tubes. The same applies where 2 buttress tubes meet. At the buttress verticals, temporarily hold the wall to the vertical with a length of duct tape. When you have uncoiled the entire wall, you may find that the ends overlap too much or don't quite meet. Gently tap the base plates from the inside with your foot to spread out the round ends slightly if the wall overlaps, or from the outside to tighten up the round ends if there is a space. Examine the gap between base rails at each base plate. Ensure it's approximately 1/2 inch 13 millimeters. It may be necessary to remove the wall and redistribute it to do this. When you have the wall ends aligned, place a screwdriver through the holes near the bottom to maintain the alignment. Join the wall ends with a bolt and nut through each hole. The bolt heads go on the pool side of the wall and the nuts on the outside. Tighten each nut and bolt securely, being careful not to strip the bolt heads, which could leave a metal burr and damage your liner. Cover the bolt heads with several strips of duct tape. After securing the last of the slotted tubes, check once again to ensure the pool wall is completely level. If not, remove the wall and re-level the base frame. Now install the styrofoam pieces you have prepared for the base, covering all the seams with duct tape. If you are using a sand bottom, rake out the sand inside the pool to a uniform depth right up to the base rail, and use a straight 2x4 and carpenter's level to make it as smooth as possible. Whether you use sand or styrofoam, you must construct a cove of brick sand around the inside bottom of the pool wall. This is an important part of the pool's structure because it redistributes the pressure of the water on the bottom edge of the pool wall. The cove should be about 8 inches or 20 centimeters wide and 6 inches or 15 centimeters high. Where the buttress uprights make the pool wall scallop slightly, this cove will be a little narrower and a little shorter to maintain the horizontal line of the cove. Pack the brick sand firmly into shape and smooth it out evenly. Next, install the wall saver gasket around the skimmer cutout. Gently spread apart the 2 layers of the gasket, being very careful not to tear or damage the seam, and insert it so that it sandwiches the pool wall. Hold it in place temporarily with pieces of duct tape. Temporarily seal the skimmer hole on the outside with a piece of cardboard and lengths of duct tape. Prepare the liner by stretching it out fully, smooth side down. Fold the liner up along its horizontal length, working from both sides to the middle. Carry the folded liner to the pool and position it in the middle of the pool. Drape the liner over the wall. Temporarily hold it in place by attaching short lengths of the plastic coping. Working your way around the pool, keep draping the liner over the wall, letting it hang slack. Once the liner is draped over the edge of the entire wall, adjust its position until the seams are evenly positioned around the pool and fasten it in place with the flexible coping. Insert the hose from an industrial or shop vacuum through the round return hole to within 8 or 10 inches, 20 or 25 centimeters of the sand cove, and seal around the hose with duct tape. This vacuum is used to remove wrinkles from the liner. Be certain it is properly grounded and not operated on wet or damp ground. Now start the shop vac. What this does is draw the air out from between the pool wall and the liner. Take a soft bristled broom and gently tap the liner on the lower portion against the wall just above the cove. This helps bring the liner tighter to the wall and center it in the pool. Keep the vacuum running and start to fill the pool with water. It may be necessary to remove pieces of coping and readjust the liner to ensure all the wrinkles are removed. When the water has reached 6 or 8 inches, 15 to 20 centimeters, stop the vacuum and remove the hose and duct tape. Now reinstall the coping completely, carefully cutting the final piece to avoid any overlap. Do not put in any more than 8 inches, 20 centimeters of water until the vertical columns and top rails are attached. Line up the bottom of a column with the small tabs on a base plate. Fasten the column to the tabs using self-tapping screws. Hook a top plate over the edge of the pool wall and lower it down onto the top of the vertical column with the tabs of the top plate on the outside of the column. Use a level or the ridges of the pool wall to ensure the vertical is straight up and down, and fasten the top plate to the column with 3 self-tapping screws. At the buttresses, the vertical columns are fastened over the top of the left and right vertical clips which you installed earlier. Roll up any liner that hangs below the coping, rolling it to the inside as shown. This will prevent water being trapped in the rolled up liner, which could cause unwelcome odors. Carefully tuck it over the top cutout of each vertical. Tape it in place between verticals near the top edge of the pool with small pieces of duct tape. Make sure you do not trim or cut off the excess liner. You'll find 4 top rails that are a slightly different shape from the other top rails. These transition rails are also marked underneath with a red dot. Place one end of a transition rail over a buttress and the other end over a regular vertical. At the end which is over the buttress, fasten to the top plate through the holes marked B on the top plate, but do not tighten the screws completely. At the other end, over the vertical, fasten the rail to the top plate using the holes marked A, again not tightening the screws completely. Except for the end of the transition rails, which are fastened to a buttress, all other top rails are fastened to the top plates using the holes marked A. If your top plates are this style, just fasten each rail into the 2 holes provided. After you have put all the top rails in place, tighten all of the screws. Your pool will be equipped with top connectors to cover the gap between the ends of the top rails. Use the instructions which came with these top connectors to assemble and install them over each of the verticals. Your pool may also be equipped with foot covers for the base of the verticals. Again, use the specific instructions that came with these kits. Now fill your pool completely to within 2 inches or 5 centimeters of the lowest skimmer opening, and follow the instructions which came with your skimmer, pump, and filter kits. As an important safety measure, apply the 4 no diving, no jumping labels that have been supplied with your kit to the top rails. Spread them evenly around the pool. post the vinyl safety sign that has also been supplied so that it is visible at the point of entry of your pool. Congratulations on your successful installation of a Gibraltar buttress-free oval pool from Atlantic Pools.